So everyone like admit गर्नुपर्छ कि आफै हुन्छ यो
मिलन दाइले गर्दै हुनुहुन्छ
ए
Let's start. All right, Aarti.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be joining from. A very warm namaste. On behalf of Nepali academics in America, it is my pleasure to welcome you to the final Zoominar event of the year, Botanical Medicines and Their Roles in Human Health. My name is R21. I serve as a secretary for the Executive Council for Nepali academics in America, which we lovingly call NACA, and I will be your host today. We are a nonprofit, nonpartisan professional network of academics of Nepali origin and academics interested in Nepal. NACA envisions to build a thriving and vibrant Nepal through research, innovation, and knowledge production. We today have a fantastic agenda lined up for the conversation with our guest, Dr. Jeevan Prasain, who will first provide a brief presentation, and we will get into a moderated conversation. Dr. Jeevan Prasain is an associate professor of pharmacology and toxicology at the University of Alabama at Birmingham. His current research focuses on botanical medicines, their intake, metabolism, and effects on health maintenance and illness prevention. He's also a recipient of numerous NIH funding to support some of these projects. Previously, Dr. Prasain was also a member of Purdue UAB Botanicals Center for age-related diseases, which is one of the NIH-funded botanical centers. Dr. Prasain has authored and co-authored over 100 peer-reviewed scientific papers, as well as health-related articles and Nepali books in particular. As you can see on the screen, Jeevan Jiune Kaida, Sadhai Tanneri, Waripari, Sarbopari, and Dherai ko Dhapedi. Our moderator today is Ms. Uma Sharma. She's with East Carolina University, who is a research specialist with the East Carolina Diabetes and Obesity Institute of Brody School of Medicine. She has a master's degree in organic chemistry and has had a decade of experience in academic research. And her area of expertise is molecular and cellular biology techniques. And she's mentored many undergraduate students as well. So welcome, everyone. I would like to particularly welcome our guests, our moderators, and we will proceed to our session. Dr. Prasain, the floor is yours for your presentation.
Okay, so namaste to everyone. So can you hear me clearly or do I need to be a little closer? Just let me know, okay? So first of all, I would like to thank NACA Organizing Committee for providing this, this opportunity to share my own research work and as well as other works in related to botanical medicine. And thanks Aarti for that wonderful introduction. So over the last 10 years, I have been actively involved in writing. Obviously, we write scientific writing, grant writing, and other writing, but also in public forums. So particularly in Nepali language, I have written 4 published written books. So I started writing around 2015, and here you can see my 4 books, published books, and these books are online almost globally, Amazon and Thuprai.com in Nepal. So these are the books, and we will have, I think we will have time to discuss a little bit more about these books. So today, what I'm going to talk a little bit about is botanical medicine, their role in human health. So this is a topic that has been talked or discussed for a long time, and it's still relevant, and it may be more relevant than ever. So botanical medicine, and we all know more or less about botanical. Botanical means plant, right? We usually we say botanical or plant or phyto. There are different ways to say the same thing. So botanical medicine is, so one thing we maybe, want to know that these are, what is the significance of botanical medicine in human health? And we all know that plants are amazing, right? Because plant gives us, provides us food to eat and oxygen to breathe, and also timber, foliage, flowers, and whatnot. And more importantly, it also provides us medicine to cure disease. So that is something that we are going to talk. Within limited time, 20 minutes, and we will discuss more about this. So just to give you a sense that how important plants are in terms of even for modern medicine. So you know that modern medicine started just 200 years ago, almost in 19th century. And then before that was botanical medicine or traditional medicine was the mainstay of public health. So that's why even modern medicine, if you look at the 1/4, so almost 25% of all prescription medicine, pharmaceutical drugs, are initially derived from botanicals. You can name it, for example, aspirin, morphine, colchicine, Taxol. All these are modern medicine actually initially derived from plants. So plants are the greatest source for all modern medicine. And also, even today, according to WHO, 80% of world population, particularly in Asian country and African country, rely on botanical medicine for in some part of their healthcare system. Botanical medicine is involved. So that turns out that botanical has a real place in human health and disease prevention. So today what I'm going to talk is, I'm not going to talk about modern medicine or a drug. Rather, I would focus with the dietary because this has been a focus of one of the focus of my research. So before I deeply dive into scientific part, I just wanted to share. I thought this may be it will catch our attention that. I wanted to start with this first dietary intervention that will give a sense that how important is dietary intervention in disease prevention as well. So we know that scurvy, right? So scurvy, we know more or less about scurvy disease due to the deficiency of vitamin C. So when you have a certain level, we need a certain level of vitamin C. When you have the level goes down, then problem of scurvy. Vitamin C is essential vitamin for our physiology as well as the disease prevention, because vitamin C is very strong antioxidant. So vitamin C is needed for collagen formation. So that's why vitamin C is essential. Also, vitamin C is essential for absorption of iron. So the thing is, but the thing is, vitamin C was discovered around 20th century. So before that, we didn't know about vitamin C. And the other thing is, vitamin C is human and primates. We cannot synthesize vitamin C. Okay, but our cat and dog, they can synthesize by their own. So this is the thing. So dietary source of vitamin C is the only source that we get vitamin C. So anyway, to make this story short, so what is the point in this slide is, in between 16th to 19th century, millions of people die of scurvy. Okay, and particularly in the period of exploration, when people had to go for a long month voyage. So they didn't have opportunity to eat fresh food. So at that time, so scurvy was a major disease of naval death. So many people died. So that was a biggest problem. And Captain James Cook, who was a very famous British captain, so he was very clever. So what he thought that maybe fresh vegetable, especially citrus or soury food, may be important to give them. So what he did is he asked his men to eat fresh food. And in doing so, only one on the second voyage of the Endeavour had scurvy. So that is actually when he gave his crew member with the fresh food and vegetables. Didn't have, only one member had scurvy. So that is an early example of preventive medicine. So that clearly, actually at that time, didn't know about vitamin C. So vitamin C was found in the 20th century. So now question is, this highlight the importance of nutrient in disease prevention, not only for our health and wellness, but also cure disease. So next is so poor diet. So the question is now, even this is a Lancet. This is very important statement published in Lancet 2019. What it says that poor diet is responsible for more death than any other risk factor. So risk factor, number one risk factor, we all know that smoking, tobacco, and high blood pressure, salt. There are many other risk factor, but poor diet is the leading risk factor for death. In 2017, about 11 million deaths was due to poor diet. Okay, so that is important. But the thing is now, because of the pharmaceutical industry and other lobbying group or politics, the importance of diet has not been realized. So that is one of the biggest problem for the growing chronic disease. Okay, so now question is, so what makes a food as a good food? So this is a question, or bad food. Okay, so or suboptimal diet. So this is a question. So that we wanted to look at with this slide. So as we know that when, I'm not a nutritionist, but the thing is, when we talk about any food, we always talk about macro and micronutrients. So macronutrients are, macro means carbohydrate, protein, and fat, right? And micronutrient is vitamin and minerals. As we know that vitamin C was essential for scurvy and many other physiological conditions. So vitamin C is essential. So likewise, many minerals also essential for biochemical reaction inside our body. But the thing is, a third class of compound, which has been recently drawn attention in scientific circle, is that there is a third class of nutrient. Apparently, these compounds, so these nutrient, what we call nutrient, but has no apparent role in nutrition. Actually, it's a non-nutritious compound, but still we say phytonutrient for general understanding. So phytonutrient. So phytonutrient, in strict chemical sense, we can say these are the compounds produced by plant in response to environmental factor. So actually, they produce for their own defense system. So for example, to protect from UV, protect from insect, and many drought and many other conditions. So these are produced. So the thing is, so for their own defense system, this compound is produced. And what happens that when we consume these compounds, so also they protect us from many disease, particularly chronic disease, or age-related disease, or degenerative disease. So and also sometimes acute disease as well. So that's the thing, that the what we call phytonutrients. So it's a secondary. Some example of phyto, as as can be seen in this slide, we all know more or less about phytonutrients. For example, polyphenol, right? Carotenoids and saponins and alkaloids. There are many compounds or drug-like molecules, what is found in diet as well as in almost all plant world. These compounds are produced. So today, because of time constraint, I'm just focusing those dietary sources which has tremendous impact in human health and disease prevention. Okay, so these compounds loaded with phytochemicals, what they do is they extend our longevity, they extend our life as well as our healthy span, not only our lifespan, but also healthy span. So among those, so the thing is life, when we talk about lifespan, so let's see what is the proof. So proof is, if you look at globally, there are 5 places in the world where the centenary or long-lived people live in highest rate. Okay, so those places we call zone. There are blue zone, 5 blue zone. For example, one is Okinawa, Japan, and Sardinia, Italy, and Guatemala, California. So there are 5 places. So what they eat. So that is first thing that we need to consider. So they eat exclusively plant-based diet. 90 to 95% they eat plant-based diet. So what are those plant-based diets? So number 1 is bean and legume. So that is a common, regardless Okinawan or Mediterranean or any other, those centenarian, mostly they ate most of their life beans, legumes, green vegetables, whole grain. So if you read all this review about their food dietary habit, what we found that bean and legume is a number 1, and then whole grain and green leaves and vegetable and spice. So spice little varies. So mostly spice, turmeric, ginger, and garlic. So in Asian community, mostly eaten, turmeric is preferably eaten, right? Turmeric, and then ginger. So ginger and garlic, especially in the Mediterranean, mostly garlic. So what we are going to talk today, we are going to talk 3: bean, berries, and turmeric. So I just wanted to show in this slide some of these phytonutrient or chemical compound of these, some representative example, like beans, legume, soybean, because soybean, we Nepalese eat a lot of soybean product, right? Makai bhat mas and many other things. So quati. So that's why I thought that legume is one of the dietary of interest. And you know what? Beans, for example, soybean, when we talk about soybean, we'll talk more in our discussion section. So what is unique of soy nut or soybean? So soybean is unique in the sense that it is a greatest source of protein and having all essential amino acid, we need some essential amino acid because those amino acids we cannot generate or produce inside our body. So that is like those found in meat. So it's a real substitute of meat in terms of protein. But the good thing is, in addition to protein, they also have phytoestrogen that I'm going to talk. So some other compound, disease-preventing compound, like here shown as a genistein. So genistein is a compound present as a phytonutrient or secondary metabolites in soybean. And then comes berries. So berries is, we can talk about hour and hour about this. So I just want to quickly talk about and move to next slide. So berries are very colorful. You know that berries. So berries like blueberries, cranberries. These are actually berries. Actually, I was reading a review on berries. These are berries, but these are not truly berries. Berries like gooseberries, amala, you know that. These are actually berries. But anyway, we call these berries. Very attractive, and then easy to eat. And if you look at the market globally, that blueberries, cranberries is market popularity is going up, skyrocketing, because they are attractive, and then you can eat as a snack. And is loaded with phytonutrient, and especially good for, like blueberry is well known for brain health, neurodegenerative disease, and possibly it is also helpful in preventing Alzheimer's and other dementia. And the compound is attractive. So those who are with a chemical background may understand this, because I'm a chemist. I'm not a nutritionist, but that's why I always love and want to play with the chemicals, compounds. So bear with me. So these are the structure. So like what makes compound color? What makes food color? So food color mostly, as you can see, blueberries and cranberries, because of the compound anthocyanin. Anthocyanin is a cyanidin. So anthocyanidin that impart pigmentation. Okay, so that's why it is attractive. So it attracts for their own benefit. So they attract bees, insect for pollination, and many others. But also these are very, very strong antioxidant. Okay, so that's the thing, that these are water soluble, attractive, so pigmentation compounds, so anthocyanidin. And also wanted to show that sometimes there are compounds, bioactive compounds, that is commonly found in other food stuff. So, for example, catechins. Here is a catechin. So, catechin is a catechin or epicatechin is found in many food like chocolate, green tea, and even red wine. So, question is, so for example, whether you drinking green tea or red wine, there are common phytonutrients both found in green tea as well as in red wine. So I will talk, if I have time, to talk about a French paradox about this, that how French people live longer and with a little or no cardiovascular disease, and despite consuming high level of saturated fat, fries, and other things. And finally is turmeric. So this is a favorite spice. So the interesting thing is turmeric, curcuma longa. So turmeric is a yellow powder that is widely consumed in Southeast Asia. So it's one of the oldest spice, traditionally been used for like a millennium. So that's why. And what is the active compound? So it's the Gingiveraceae family. So Gingiveraceae family say ginger, for your knowledge, ginger, and turmeric and cardamom, these all are in the same family, okay? And the active compound is curcumin, as shown here. So curcumin is also polyphenolic compounds, and I will talk in next slide that what curcumin is and a little bit my work also. So the thing is, so I just wanted to put, so these are and spice. So this is consumed in a relatively high amount, curcumin. Curcumin, it is estimated that 2 grams to 5 grams consumed in like Indian subcontinent, so 2 to 5 grams, and with no toxicity. Okay, and curcumin is one of the bioactive compounds. So I just wanted to wrap up this slide by saying that when diet is wrong, medicine is no use. When diet is correct, medicine is no use. So it's an Ayurvedic proverb. So that indicates that if you keep eating daily basis this compound, we don't have to worry about medicine too, because we may not have any major disease. Okay, so again, coming back to curcumin. So curcumin, I'm a little biased, or maybe I'm very, very much interested in curcumin. The reason is that when I started my PhD work in Japan, in Toyama medical and pharmaceutical industry, I was my mentor. So someone here is my mentor and what I look like at that time. Dr. Kadota, he was my PhD mentor. And this institute is well known, I think, in the world, especially this institute, Toyama Medical and Pharmaceutical. The unique of the institute is Western medicine and as well as traditional medicine do the same in the same building research. So that is unique. So that's why my degree in pharmaceutical science, but we used to work tremendous work in Chinese medicine. So I was given a plant in Gingiviaceae family, so Alpinia blepharo-calyx. So shown here is a Chinese is a part of Chinese medicine, is especially used for stomachic, so stomach pain. So what I found, to make a story short, what I found that this is not ginger, this is the same family member, another plant. I discovered similar to curcumin. So curcumin in chemically, what we call diaryl heptanoid. So these are two aryl means two aromatic with a linked with a 7-carbon ring, so heptanoid. So if you look at this part is very similar to curcumin. So anyway, so that was a discovery. And then this compound are biologically active because they inhibit the nitric oxide production. So you know the nitric oxide is free radical. So nitric oxide can have both positive and negative. But the thing is, so here is because curcumin is very strong anti-inflammatory compounds. So that's why it's well investigated. Just for example, this is 65 human clinical trial of curcumin, over 22,000 scientific paper. When I entered curcumin as a keyword in PubMed just the day before, and then what I found, over 22,000 scientific. So you now realize that how well investigated this compound is. And also curcumin as related to my PhD work, at the same time, curcumin-like compound. So other thing is, this is actually, I started writing this back in 2011. I started my actually public writing started 2011. I wrote a blog in mysansar.com, Besar Kosto Achambako Masala. So that was well received. Thousand people like that article, and it's still available. I saw this recently, and then is a well received by even clinician and physician, surgeon. So that's why that also encouraged me to write a book on this type of material. So one example I just wanted to search that recently, if you look at curcumin is very strong inflammatory. So you know that painkiller like this is a painkiller, diclofenac. It's actually used for knee osteoarthritis. So what they found is a randomized clinical trial. What they found that the efficacy is as good as this painkiller. But the thing is, you know that these non-NSAID, what we call in pharmaceutical term is NSAID, non-steroidal anti-inflammatory agent. This painkiller has a tremendous side effect. So that's why it's better to use curcumin, that safety and efficacy. So we will talk about this a little bit more during our question and answer session. So now I just wanted to give a sense that, again, coming back to food. So food is actually a complicated thing, that what food we like and what food is a good food, right? So obviously natural food is good, but the thing is we cannot eat raw food, completely raw food, right? Because of many reasons. So digestion and digestive, we need to make a palatable. So if you look at any food, so there is a different degree of processing. So one of the things, coming back to soy, so soy is the soy product. There are numerous soy products in the market. So what is soy and how many different? So I just wanted to show that the role of processing, how you process food, that is actually induce a chemical change, and also that also dictate the taste, flavor, and digestibility. So to make this story very short, so let's begin with this. The whole soybean or unheated soy flour, okay? So soybean, what happens that this is the soybean in terms of like this compound isoflavone. So this is a compound. And what happens that this compound in the soy nut or soybeans exists as a malonic. It's a glycoside with a malonate. You know, this is a malonate part. So what happens that when you roast or heat soybean, that this malonate is actually, there's a loss of decarboxylation, the loss of carbon dioxide and make acetylgenistein. So the take-home message is when you roast your soybean, you'll have a different chemical than the original one. Okay, so and then that we use like makai vatmas and roasted soybean. Other way of eating soy is hot water extraction, like tofu and soy milk. Okay, so soy milk, what happens that the whole thing, so when you hot water is a glycoside, even this whole part is leaving. So that's why it's a genistein, technically what we call is a glycoside with sugar, glucose containing compound. Okay, but it's still genistein. So one thing is that this compound, so no matter what we eat, unless your body sees how this compound, if this compound is in your gut, but how to make this compound more absorbable? So for that is because the compound, when you have a polar compound, so this has a sugar, water soluble, then it's a least absorbed. So when compound is relatively non-polar, is actually passive diffusion is possible, because in our gut there is a barrier, the wall. So it has to cross through the wall. So that's why compared to this genistein, this doesn't have like this genistein. So phytoestrogen, this doesn't have a sugar. It's a better absorption. So what happens that if you have a soy flour or soybean, and if this undergo fermentation, then it is actually hydrolyze the sugar moiety and making this genistein, which is a glycone, no sugar, the phytoestrogen miso. So taste of miso is completely different than other like tofu, right? And also fermentation like tempeh in Indonesia, Indonesian way of eating is making a tempeh, and miso, and also natto. Because I live in Japan, so I'm very familiar with all these soy products. So natto is one of the very similar, is actually in Nepal is kinema. Have you heard about kinema? We should be proud that we also have a method is an ethnic food, kinema. Especially kinema is very popular in Kirat culture and northeastern part of India and Nepal. So kinema is what you do, that you boil and you ferment with, but it's different time, and flavor is also the way and time, how long you ferment and what is the fermentation bacteria. So all this will decide the taste and flavor. But anyway, so this is similar to natto in Japanese, and the miso is staple along with the rice in Japan. So the message is a different soy product with different taste, flavor, and digestibility. So it's very different. So the Western and other thing is, in Western country or Western population, mostly soy is eaten as a soy milk, whereas in Eastern population, Eastern country, mostly miso, tofu, and kinema. So in other words, mostly fermented product. So fermented product also, that means even though we are eating soybean, consuming soybean, but with a different chemistry. Okay, now little bit I wanted, this is the thing that everybody's excited about this, that what happens. So what is now is uncovering the relevance of this phytonutrients. So phytonutrients is what happens. So if you have a little bit pharmacological background, then it's very easy to understand that what happens that, so now we had a food, raw food, then we process the food, we change the chemistry, and what is in our plate is not actually what our body sees. Okay, so that the message I wanted to convey here. So let's say what happens when we ingest after ingestion this compound. So let's say you add a miso soup, right? It has this type of aglycone compound, and then what happens that in GI tract, gastrointestinal tract. It's divided, it's a long tube, right? The tract. So like it started with the stomach, and then mostly absorption start here in the small intestine. So duodenum, jejunum, and ileum, and down the road you will have a colon and rectum. So what happens that like any drug or any xenobiotes, what happens that these phytonutrients also start absorbing in duodenal region, jejunum, and what happens? But the thing is, their absorption is relatively poor. Okay, and then what happens that undergo like daisine, for example, this daisine and enterohepatic circulation and portal vein to liver, and unabsorbed compound is actually a traveling down. So here is an it reaches to colon. As soon as it reaches to colon, so what happens that this compound interact with microbiota or gut bacteria. So you know that gut bacteria is a resident, what we call resident gut bacteria. So tremendous number, and you know that the number of bacteria is a little more than our human cell. So intense, so tremendous number of these bacteria, and bacteria also good bacteria and also bad bacteria, and bacteria, fungi, virus. There are so many, so that makes a microbiome. And even the genetic gene level, it's a huge number. So what happens that interact with and get metabolized? So now you have a daisine, now it becomes aqua. Okay, so so that's the thing. And then this aqua is a structurally different, biological different. This is more similar to phytoestrogen-like compound. So it's a more phytoestrogenic. So that is the health benefit. So in other words, we can say that to get a you know, the effect, the best effect, health beneficial effect, is better to produce this, but not everybody can have the same amount of this compound, because no two individuals have the same identical microbiota. A little bit furthermore. So this is very interesting that I wanted to show that. As I mentioned, that soy is in Western world mostly eaten as a glycoside form. The soy milk is a major, and very you know, very some communities still eat other like Asian, but mostly eaten you know, as a glycoside form, Western population. So what it is has been found that the Western world, the equal producing. So producer, we can say that equal producer and non-equal producer. So Western world, people produce only 25 to 30% equal producer, whereas in rest of the whereas in Asian community is 50 to 60% equal producer. So because of the bacteria, so availability of bacteria is very important. So, and other thing, there could be many other reasons. Isoflavone intake. So what we consume, what varieties, what kind of soy product do we consume, that also decide the presence of those bacteria that will produce equal. Okay, and the thing is mostly soy, we you know, Western world mostly eat eaten as a glycoside form or the soy protein only. So that could be the reason, but you still don't know. And other thing is equal producing status. So is equal producing is really beneficial? Yes, maybe yes, presumably yes, but it's still not 100% sure. But what do you found that the breast cancer incidence in Japanese population compared to US is for Japanese or Chinese population is 4 or 5 times lower than Western world. Okay, so that is very significant. So isoflavone intake. So for example, this paper says isoflavone intake breast density in a sample of US Chinese. So significant inverse association isoflavone intake and dense area of so that indicates that maybe something related with the equal. And other interesting factor is vegetarian are reported to highest number of equal products producing people, mostly vegetarian, compared to non-vegetarian. So this is my final slide. I don't know time-wise, how good I'm time-wise finishing this. So this is my lab work actually. Cranberries. So berries. We also need to talk about berries. So I just wanted to give the sense of what we found, what we discovered. So the cranberry is widely consumed in Western world obviously cranberry is native to North America and mostly consumed as a preventive medicine for UTI, urinary tract infection of E. coli. So the thing is, so that is a marketable benefit of this cranberry. So what in collaboration with one of our professor here, Clinton Grubbs, in chemoprevention, he and I work, and for the first time that we look at a chemical, we made a chemical-induced animal model, and we treated with cranberry juice concentrate. It's nothing added externally, so whole cranberry juice concentrate. What we found that actually dose dependently is actually has some protection against producing urinary bladder cancer. So because that bladder cancer is a bladder that stores urine. So there is a uroepithelium that is actually proliferation and that cause bladder cancer. So that was funded by NIH. Also, I got NIH funding from NIH, and there's a website that you can go and look at what we did with this NIH website and camp complementary. So here is a link. And finally, this is something interesting, and this work is done by Rajani Rajbhandari. So she's also, I think she's in today's this Zoominar. So she did some of this work, so in vitro work. So what we did is, so we wanted to know that what cranberry phytochemicals is actually reaching to urinary bladder, urine, and then is it protecting? Okay, so what we found that one of the compounds, so this is quercetin, methyl quercetin. So interesting to show this compound. So we treated in vitro cell culture with a cancer cell, so uroepithelium cancer cell, as well as compare with a normal human cell, because we know that we need to have a compound that is differentially toxic to cancer cell, but not toxic to normal cell. So as you can see that this is normal cell, the IC50 is greater than 200 micromole, but for cancer cell, it's very low, 12.5 micromole. So that indicates that one of the compound is really bioavailable to bladder and may provide some protection in bladder cancer. So with this, I just wanted to summarize. So am I good in terms of my timing? I don't know.
Dr. Prasain, I think we should just move towards.
Okay. So anyway, so this is what. So I would. I'm happy to discuss more in our discussion session. So I still have time to talk, or I need to.
No, let's wrap this up and maybe we can
so
talk
these
about
are
this in the Q&A. Ms. Sharma, the floor is yours.
Should I start?
Yes, please go ahead.
Okay. Hello and namaste to everyone. My name is Uma Sharma. I'm your moderator today. Thank you, NACA, for providing this opportunity. Actually, I want to let you know that we have a chat room open. So please drop your questions and Dr. Arati will take care of it at the end of our conversation. Thank you, Dr. Prasain. You managed to sum up such a huge topic so effectively in such a short time. It's like you just gave us the Cliff Notes version of a whole library. Thank you for your insightful presentation. As you said, phytonutrients have various health benefits, including antioxidant, antibacterial, antifungal, anti-inflammatory, and you just said about anti-cancer too. These things you have mentioned in your books too. There is a whole chapter about inflammation in your book, Sadhai Tanneri. Overall, They contribute to our well-being by promoting a healthy immune system. Now, Dr. Prasain, everyone must have noticed that you look just as youthful in the picture you showed in one of your slides, which is dated back, I think, 1997, right? Almost 30 years ago. It's incredible, actually. What's even more remarkable to me is you are involved in teaching, you are doing research, you are publishing peer-reviewed journals. In addition, I need to say, in addition here, you published 4 books, that is in Nepali language. So I want to start the conversation by exploring your journey that has led to you to this point. Like, is there any milestones, any defining moment? But can you summarize it, focusing more on the book writing part?
A great
I'm
question.
so sorry, Dr. Prasain, I'm so sorry to interrupt. Would you stop slide share so we can see you
Sure, yes.
Sharma?
Yes, great, thank you. So great question, and thanks, for asking this question. So, and I usually get this question during my TV interview and many other places also. So this is a question, and I don't know I can answer this, very clearly or not. But the thing is, first thing, so I'm not a nutritionist, as I said, or even plant biochemist. Okay. But I am actually my training in more medicinal chemist, and here in UAB I'm more bio natural product type of medicinal chemist. So I'm more now analytical chemist than other chemists. So, but the thing, what happens that as I talk a little bit in my slide, that during my PhD days also. Even though I work with a medicinal plant, but the compound is widely found in dietary, okay? And then after my first postdoc, actually, I was more drug-like, like I work with the Taxol, Taxine, other thing, not this. And then what happens that when I joined, I was actually in UAB, I was hired by Botanical Center. So, US-funded Botanical Center. And the thing is, I had opportunity to work with many well-known investigators. So the focus of the Botanical Center was Purdue University and UAB, UAB Botanical Center, with the focus of polyphenol and age-related disease. Age-related disease or chronic disease. So now, different terminology used in different times. So at the time, age-related disease. So I actually, with my background in chemistry, medicinal chemistry, and bioanalytical chemistry, I got an opportunity to work with many different principal investigators. So those working with soy and grapeseed for Alzheimer's disease and different animal models. So, and I got opportunity, and it was very intense research. So at that time, so I published, numerous paper and worked together. So that actually, and also I listened many good, talk, and that also actually enriched my knowledge, and actually I'm more inclined to understand about rather than actually medicinal plant, more dietary source. What I found that my interest is because these are dietary, these are more relevant because we eat this compound every day. Okay, and these are biological active compounds. And actually, these compounds are now recently people are more interested and learn about more. Otherwise, people are more, previously it was more medicinal plant or herbal medicine. Okay, so that's why that gave me opportunity. And as I mentioned that, I thought then what happens that I realized that obviously we are trained in scientific writing, grant writing, paper writing, more or less we all are trained in that area. But when I realized that your knowledge, your scientific knowledge will have will be very confined to your circle, like within scientific circle or even because science is huge. So very few people read your publication, and very limited area. So that's what I realized, that how I can disseminate, how I can reach out to general public. So that it occurred to me. I don't know what induced to me, and also that as I mentioned back in 2011, I started writing a blog, and like in my Sansar and other, and then I started writing. I was a columnist in the Rising Nepal, and also magazine. I almost 2-3 years I wrote every week, if not like every month. I wrote several articles, health and wellness article, and so I become a columnist. And then what happens? Actually, Sadipji has a lot of credit goes to Sadipji also. We talk about, and I started writing, and he also encouraged me to write a book, and he introduced me publisher. So that's the great started my writing career. And other thing is, once you start writing, so it is like flowing like a moment. So once you start writing, it is ongoing, right? As a writer, you also write, so you understand that every day I write. In other words, I write for my self-satisfaction also. So these days, so this is a part of my daily routine. So and because I don't watch movie, or I don't have social other interaction too much. And other thing attached to this is, now I strongly realize, internally I realize, that we live in a world today, okay? So with a chronic disease and a lot of other health issues, that, and very soon, by 2025, the world population, half of the population will suffer from chronic disease. Other thing, this is a huge topic. We can talk like hour and hour. So why this is important to write in public forum? So the important thing is, now with ultra processed junk food and other food, our body is bombarded with all these poorly nutritious food or artificial food. So I realized that, and also even that this pharmaceutical industry and other industry actually dominated, and even the nutritious thing they sell as a pill, and the pill is not mimicking the real food. So I wanted to convey this message, this message in our because I'm from Nepal, and other thing is, I do experiment, but I enjoy more writing. Okay, I enjoy doing experiment, but also more enjoy writing. So that's why, and also I have a lot of respect and attachment to language, Nepali language. So also, not only I'm also a bit of literature and philosophy. So I wanted to write a book.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Prasain.
In Nepali, we say it's a Gulan Sahitya. It's a mingling of science and also darshan and many other things. So that is, and once I started to publish, so I cannot stop, not writing. So I feel good and for fulfillment also. So that was the reason, and that is my passion now, and so that actually enabled me to write a full book in 8 years, in addition to grant writing and other things.
Thank you, Dr. Prasain. I just want to let you know, for those yet to explore these books, it's worth highlighting that these books have a blend of information, scientific depth, but along with the comparing literary style too. It's a very good book. Thank you for giving these good books to the society. Actually, I still remember reading your articles about Besar in My Sansar during that time. You have also mentioned about Besar in your Jeevan Jiune Kaida book. And in the comment section of that article, I still remember I have the very strange habit of reading comments in the article. People have so many questions at that time, like how much besar to consume, how to consume, like, so there are plenty of questions. I'm pretty sure people still have that much question. And in your presentation, also, you said you still want to talk more about it, So other than the yellow vibrant color, can you please make it concise, but can you please tell the viewers like why besar, why it is important, how to consume? Can you please explain a little bit about besar more?
Yes. Thanks for bringing this up. This is very, very pertinent question. So I want to talk about if time permits. So the thing is, that besar or turmeric, we also call haledo, right? It's a different name, but the thing is, the curcumin is a central compound, so a bioactive compound when you talk about that. So first question is, there are several questions. So first question is turmeric. As we know, this is very well investigated and is an antioxidant and is a very strong anti-inflammatory agent. Okay, so anti-inflammatory agent. So that's the major property of curcumin. So with regard to what is the best way to eat a curcumin and how much to eat curcumin, right? So as I mentioned, that 2 to 5 gram turmeric is widely consumed in population like Indian society and those who consume heavily turmeric. So that is safe. And the thing is, turmeric is what is the best way to eat. So question is whether eat as a fresh turmeric or it's a powder form, or what is the best way to eat turmeric. So one thing that is our wisdom is that especially spice we use as a dry. Dry is better. Because dry is better. So this is something interesting, that dry, the drug. So word drug is derived from French word. So French word drug is a drug, D-R-O-U, drug. So the meaning of drug is dry herbs, actually. So dry, what happens that when we dry, so that all our food is mostly dry. So drying is actually concentrating. And it also shelf life. It extends the shelf life. We can use for a longer period of time. So obviously fresh. So if I am given a fresh turmeric and then powder form, so fresh is maybe good for flavor and other thing. But in terms of curcumin, the active component, I would rather take a dry powder. So that is the thing. So dry is always any spice in your kitchen. It's mostly dry. We keep that. Other thing like powder. So powder is also, as you are a chemist. So what happens that when you powder something, so powder start oxidation. Okay, so oxidation because open in oxygen environment. So oxidation. So that's why it also detrimental taste wise and the quality wise. But the thing is, you can keep it airtight, or you don't make a huge amount. You can put in freeze. But the thing is, dry powder is better than the fresh one. So that is one of the questions. So other thing is the curcumin or turmeric has is no doubt by science. It's not pseudoscience. Actually, this is proven science that curcumin is undoubtedly a king of a spice and anti-inflammatory work, anti-inflammatory property. So the thing is, but the absorption, it doesn't matter if you eat 2 gram or whatever gram, absorption, the gastrointestinal absorption is very poor, only 1 or 2%. So most of the curcumin is going down in colon region and get metabolized. So question is how effectively. So there are many research done how to enhance the absorption of curcumin. So one of the way published data says that if you mix curcumin, turmeric with black pepper, okay, so that enhances the absorption. And similarly, so that is a mixed concept. So I wanted to write in the book that this is because we rarely eat anything alone, right? So think about when
knowingly
you
or
make a achar, or
unknowingly,
when
yeah,
you make,
that's
achar,
true.
anything, you put zira and all methi and
Mhm.
everything, right? And also oil and salt. So you are making something very different thing. So this has a science, because the thing is it enhances the absorption. Okay, and also you can drink with milk, because milk has fat and oil, because these compounds get better absorbed with oily things. So that's why how you eat it is also important. But you should not roast. You should not overheat when.
Thank you, Dr. Prasain. Yeah, thank you for that. So now we have time constraints. So I want to talk about the diet. I know you are a vegetarian. So my question is, what inspired you? Any factual reason, scientific reason, health benefits, any ethnical reason? Can you tell the viewers about this?
Yeah, okay, great question. So it's actually many reasons together. It's not just one reason. Part of people, traditionally people think vegetarian is a religious reason or compassion to animal, those are maybe there, but the thing is there are valid scientific reason, environmental reason, there are many reasons. So first I wanted to give a sense that now people tend to be, eat more fruits and vegetables, or more plant-based diet compared, right? Due to health reason, for health benefit, not necessarily the religious and other thing. So why it is so? Why it is so? You know that vegetarian. So vegetarian is like Indian vegetarian or Nepalese vegetarian is vegetarian who eats plant, but at the same time we also eat dairy products, right? So vegetarian is a we are lacto-vegan, not vegan. And vegan is devoid of any animal product. And non-veg, so non-veg is mostly mixed with that. And also there is a new term, maybe for your knowledge, flexitarian. You know flexitarian? So
Maybe they are
flexitarian,
flexible.
flexitarian is those who actually like semi-vegetarian. Occasionally, traditionally Nepalese people are flexitarian, what I think, because they eat special parva or celebration, right? But usually eat very minimum occasionally, not entirely vegan, but so maybe more flexitarian. So let's look at the importance of pros and cons of all these eating styles. So what happens that, so plant-based diet is mostly when you take a plant is full of fiber and vitamin C. So these are important things. So because fiber, you don't get fiber from, in meat. And also we don't get vitamin C in meat. But meat is very good for calorie, and meat good saturated fat, and also for protein. Okay? And also vitamin D. So to make a story short, what I should say is vegetarian vegan diet is very good because it provides fiber, plenty of fiber, plenty of phytonutrients, and also vitamin C. So that's the great thing, lignin and other all disease fighting phytonutrients. So that's the great thing. And you know that because now everybody is interested with the gut microbiome. So gut microbiome, so these like fiber, without fiber, you don't feed your microbiome. So you know the salts and fatty acid now, all these the soluble fiber actually get metabolized to very small and molecules, which are essentially needed for inflammation and colon cancer, so protection, all this. So that's why that is a great, because these are plant-based diet, this prebiotic actually needed for bacteria, right? So that's one thing. And also in terms of vitamin C. So vitamin C, and also it's not very calorie. If you eat, again, there is a point. Even you are vegan, but if you eat a ultra processed maida and other thing, it doesn't make any sense. It's regardless. It's regardless that you are vegetarian or not. But if you need to whole food relatively in high quantity, okay. That's the thing. So non-vegetarian and those who eat meat as well as other, so meat is very good source for protein and vitamin and some minerals like zinc and selenium, other things. So that's why that's a benefit. So those who are meat lover, eat plenty of meat, they should think about vitamin C level and also fiber level. Okay, and the main culprit is saturated fat and cholesterol, high cholesterol. So that's why there is I would think that that vegan, like Nepalese vegan or Indian vegan with lacto vegetarian is good because it also gives you protein and other source mineral from dairy products. So that is something that what I am practicing.
So, okay, I have like those who want to be a vegetarian, but they love the taste of meat. And that's why it's so hard to, give up that. So is there, I know you are not a nutritionist, you are a chemist, but since you have done so much research, you read so much in this field. So I have a question, is there a way to replace the taste of meat without, being just is there a way to do that?
Yes, I got it. So yeah, this is one of the things that how to turn vegan from non-vegetarian. So that is taste wise, that meat is a great source of protein and also by flavor and many things. So meat has the taste of 5 taste. So 5 taste, umami taste. So meat has umami taste. So like glutamate and other things. So that's why people people always it's hard to give up meat. So, but if you decide to not, like a vegan or more plant-based diets, what you can do that there are some plant-based food can have like meat-like taste, like mushroom. So mushroom has umami taste. And tofu has umami taste. So once you start eating those umami taste is actually fifth taste, what you call like sweet, bitter, and other things. So that's why you wanted to start with that, and then over time, what happens that your taste bud also get used to. So that is the best way that. And other thing is mushroom is great. So mushroom is great because mushroom, that the vitamin D level, vitamin D, you need to eat animal product. But the thing is, mushroom also has ergosterol. So when you cut the mushroom and put in sunlight, mushroom also produces vitamin D. So this is good. So that's why you need to select some food that has umami taste, a meat-like taste. Then you can slowly, prefer to eat.
Thank you again. Actually, my father's side of the family is vegetarian. So as I grow older, I find myself naturally aligning with this dietary choice. So it could be due to our shared family values, or it could be due to growing popularity of the vegetarian diet. So my question here is, can phytonutrients prevent disease? I mean, not only prevent, can it treat, can it slow down, or can it reverse? I think it must be a very good topic to discuss. So can you briefly explain this?
Yeah, this is a huge topic, and many investigators actually and big name actually working in this area, especially. So the great thing of vegan. So vegan, every food eating behavior has a different pros and cons. But the good thing is that what is a problem in nowadays world? So is mostly chronic disease, right? So calories are not an issue. So that's why our protein is not an issue. That now we consume more protein than we needed. So that's why, like cardiovascular. So plant-based. In summarize, I just wanted to summarize this in a bullet point. So vegan is very good for those for cardiovascular and cancer. Okay. So cardiovascular, there are several studies done that indicates that vegan diet is really good for cardiovascular disease, and also like when you eat meat, red meat and other meat or processed meat is detrimental for colon cancer and other cancer. One thing I wanted to say that regarding cancer. So cancer is genetic disease, widely considered as genetic. So cancer initiation of cancer is a mutation of gene, right? So start of cancer is mutation of gene, but progression of cancer is due to nutrient. I think that will suffice to say that the role of nutrient. So that's why even though mutation is starting point of cancer, but progression is a nutrient. So that's why, and plant-based has, as we talk about, is phytonutrient that actually fight against these diseases, because the thing is, because these diseases are created inside our body, okay, and also the plant has a mixture of many things. So we need to fix not one drug, one target. Doesn't work. So especially Western medicine doesn't work because it's based on one target, one drug. So that's the thing and there are several report, even clinical trial, that it improves the condition, even reverse the condition of diabetics and cardiovascular disease and even cancer.
Thank you, Dr. Prasain. I mean, it can be a huge topic. We can talk for hours and hours about that. So I just want to move to a new trending topic, that is organic foods. Actually, organic foods have risen in popularity and are perceived to have positive benefits. So what is organic food? I mean, is there any scientific evidence or studies to support the claim that these foods are better than the normal food? I'll say normal food, so you know what I'm talking about. Can you please say something about this?
Okay. So the short answer is organic is better than conventional food, conventional grown food. But the thing is, if you look at the paper, there are conflicting report, and also it's hard to just summarize or make a conclusive. But when we say organically grown means not using pesticide, chemical fertilizer, or any other this is external chemical to grow or ripe the fruit. So fruits are vegetables, so organically grown. But the question is, this is not very well defined, because some papers say that 3 years, if you continuously don't use these chemicals, some chemicals stay for a longer time. So, and also neighboring field can have a conventional or pesticide. So there are several technical things that what is in true sense organically grown or not grown. But the thing is, compared to, this is always in science is a control. If you control is very important. So compared to conventionally grown, organically grown food at least can have no or very little pesticide or any chemical. So it's safe, okay? And other important thing, and you are a chemist, you know that these plant phytonutrients, so organically grown, supposed to have better phytonutrient profile, because this phytonutrient profile is because they produce in response to environmental condition, right? So think about when you have a plant, you don't have, and you spray with the chemicals, and there is no insect and anything to coming and attacking. So the plant doesn't need to produce those chemicals. Okay, so organically grown means you don't use a pesticide, and there is a possibility of attacking insect. So like phytoalexin, so they need to produce those chemicals. So that's why you know that even this is a big issue. For example, even ginseng and many other traditional herbs that thought that when it's grown in a very restricted condition, their phytochemical level goes down. So that's why it's better to natural habit. And also to summarize this, the good soil makes a good food.
Oh, that's a very nice quote. So I have one more, we always talk about the supplements. So what is your advice about supplement? Is it good, or or supplements are just supplements,
Yeah, supplement. Okay. Yeah, I also say that supplement, yes or no, short answer. Because supplement, we need a supplement. Like if a pregnant woman, folate is needed, right? Sometimes iron is needed. And I also take vitamin D. So when your level is drastically lower vitamin D. So those supplements are needed. But in general, those phytochemical or plant-based supplement, I would rather don't take. I would rather take a whole food. So as I said, peel doesn't mimic the whole. So think about curcumin. So curcumin, you can get a pills and as well as the whole rhizome, right? So the thing is in turmeric doesn't have not only have a curcumin, there are also many other things. Okay, so that is and again mixture of culture. So that's why when you isolate, this is just like a drug molecules. So like pharmaceuticals. So that's why for that. And one example, very interesting example I gave. We all know beta carotene, right? Beta carotene found in
Carrots.
carrot and many other yellow vegetables, beta carotene. So beta carotene is anti-cancer when taken a whole food. Okay. So what investigators have found that when you take carotene supplement, it actually is detrimental for lung cancer. You know that with the smoking. So that indicates that carotene is a good when you taken as a whole food, But carotene supplement is aggravating. So carotene supplement is not good is increasing.
Thank you, Dr. Prasain. Actually,
so
I think
that
we're
is something
running.
that I think summarized that what to take.
Yeah, actually, we have the questions from the viewers too, but I don't know how much time I have. I have a question like after the COVID-19 pandemic, there is an increased interest in immune boosting food. So I'm curious if there are any phytochemicals that have been identified or proven, or at least to some extent that enhance the immune system. Can you make it short?
Okay, so just one line. Okay, it's a huge topic, but the thing is, yes, immune boosting. We talk about vitamin C. Vitamin C is essential. Vitamin C is strong antioxidants and defense system. So take plenty of vitamins. Citrus fruit. Mostly citrus fruits are, in antiviral and a lot of immune boosting. And also like ginger and not only like kiwi fruits and ginger also and turmeric, curcumin itself. So those are because curcumin is a very strong inflammatory. It also activates a T cell and also there is a report that curcumin actually inhibits the binding of spike protein to the receptor of COVID. So that's why there are several and green vegetables, so green leafy vegetable colored. These are actually full of. So again, the take-home message is these food contain vitamin C and as well as phytonutrient together. So that is a plus point.
Thank you, Dr. Prasain. Actually, I am seeing questions about the soy and amla in the chat box too. So thank you, everyone. And I'm delighted to hand over it to Dr. Maleku. She will take a question and she will guide us through the next part.
Thank you. Thank you for this wonderful conversation. I'm definitely learning a lot, and I hope the audience are too. There's some burning questions from our audience, and the audience have been wonderful. So let's keep the questions coming if you have any questions. I'd like to invite Madhusudan Rimalji, who has this really good question in terms of Ayurveda. So Madhusudan, would you like to ask the question to Dr. Prasain yourself?
Thank you, Aritiji, and thank you, Dr. Prasain, for your wonderful, mind-blowing presentation on everything what you said is kind of goosebumping for me. Maybe I'm a Ayurvedic guy, that might be a reason. But yeah, having said all those things, I am more interested to more about the state of art of the research of Amala Umbelica. Because I'm also working on Ayurvedic, working on this part of what the Ayurvedic classics talk or discuss about those issues. So as you also mentioned that, in the Western kind of medical or Western food science, they always use berries, whatever comes up, they have no other particular ideas because they didn't have in their places might
Great
be
question.
kind of biased. Yeah, thanks. To be
Great question.
precise.
And actually, I haven't done anything. I'm not expert in Amala, Umbilica officinalis. But the thing is, Indian gooseberry actually is a true berries is Amala. So the thing is a full of is loaded with vitamin C, and also phytochemicals, other like gallic acid. And many other phenolic compounds. So obviously in Ayurvedic Triphala, one of the important component of Amala. So Amala is obviously has a varieties of health benefit because it's a rich source of vitamin C and also polyphenol and phytochemicals. So that's why. And popular like Chyawanprash also use that the Amala, and Amala also the inside the hard part also has a there are reports that by active compound. So I don't have anything experimentally, but I would take Amala as. And also one thing, just to conclude that those food are good which we evolve with. So we all evolve with, grown with the food that eating amala and all those, right? So I think that maybe suffice for that. Did I answer the question? Maybe.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah.
Awesome. So there's one more question related to Ayurveda. And this is from Dr. Gyanyopani. Ayurveda and traditional medicines have proven useful for thousands of years, predating Western science. And so he has two questions, Dr. Prasain. The first one is, what was the source of such advanced knowledge? And the second question is, can that epistemology be revived and further advanced?
Sorry, could you simplify that?
So Dr. Nyopan is asking that, the traditional medicines and Ayurveda obviously has really proven very useful, and it has predated Western science, right? So he's wondering what the source of such advanced knowledge is, and if this can be revived and further advanced.
Yeah, that's a great question. So that's the thing that the wisdom voice. So Ayurveda doesn't talk about, maybe Madhusudanji, he's authentic to talk about. I am not, but that is more wisdom. It doesn't talk about particular food or a specific thing. But the thing, wisdom is there. So now is like Ayurveda or TCM, like traditional Chinese medicine or the Campo medicine, Japanese, all using plant as predominantly use a plant as the source of medication. So the thing is now NIH, National Institute of Health of the US, also actually use the term complementary and alternative medicine. So CAM, in short, we say CAM. So CAM medicine is, there is always complementary, so and also alternative, for example, yoga or any other food, like even now turmeric and any other, and a lot of work, and there is a funding mechanism. As I also got R21 for my cranberry work. So these are all based on traditional, like turmeric. There was a center in Arizona, I think, heavily involved in curcumin and turmeric. So yes, but still the world is heavily dominated by modern drug, for sure. So that's why we we still need to go a long way. But there is a huge interest among scientists and even some of these pharmaceutical industry, that now they're talking about the pills. Even though, so dietary supplement, functional food, nutraceuticals, so all is a part of that and science. Obviously science is not, obviously one thing I wanted to give you, I think this is very relevant, that even the Western science, we all are involved in doing experimental evidence-based science. Evidence to what level, that is also important. Okay, some are anecdotal. So some are just based on experience or but some experimental evidence. For example, some in vitro, some cellular level, or some is based on just test tube level. So that is in many public forum, you will see that correlate, that doesn't correlate, that doesn't give you conclusive, but there is a possibility, the potential, it that indicates, right? So that's why scientists need a proper wording when we talk about the effect of any food or anything, because that is, when your data, your in vitro data, you cannot extrapolate those data to human subject, even mammalian system. So that's, those are the things. But answer is yes, because now many centers like a Botanical Center use a CAM funded by complementary, and also NCI, National Cancer Institute, also take a different grant written on this as well.
There's a lot of burning questions here, so I'm just trying to get into those questions. Let's just sort of make this a little more interactive. I want to invite Suman Karkiji for this wonderful question. Would you like to ask this question to Dr. Prasain?
Sure, thanks. Jeevan sir, namaste.
Namaste.
Yeah, I think though we are together in UAB, but yeah, we have not met for some time now. So I had actually, since I work in cancer, and then I have, we talked a lot about soybean, and so there are studies that show that when we take soybean as a dietary component, actually affects in terms of its protection against breast cancer in the womb. So when soy products are taken at the early childhood or the late adult, rather than very late in life, like after 50s or during menopause, it has been shown that it's not effective. So is that because of the way it modulates the gut microbiome, or there's some physiological changes that cannot utilize those flavonoids anymore? Do you have any comment on that?
Yeah, a great question. Actually, I really appreciate bring this question. So this is I think I little bit talk in Jeevan Jiune and somewhere in my book as well. This is interesting fact that you see that historically Japanese and Chinese, as like 4 or 5 times less breast cancer and prostate cancer in Japanese and Chinese population, Japanese population, particularly in breast cancer. So the thing is, because they started, and other interesting fact is, those immigrated to US or Western world, what happens that their generation is even more prone to get breast cancer than white counterpart. So Asian second generation particularly. So the huge question is, what is the root cause behind this trend? So some experimental done in UAB also, one of our colleague, our departmental colleague, Steve Byrne and Lamartine, they also did some work, the nutrigenomic work. So they actually treated animal from very early age, and then look at the effect of these phytoestrogen in cancer. So it indicates that to get the benefit of soy, early exposure is essential. So it's not something that you started eating in the late phase and then you get the same benefit. So that's the thing. Like culturally, Japanese started. So Japanese, that the level of these isoflavone in the plasma, in the blood, is need to be in a certain level. So like they eat 35 to 40 milligrams. So like phytoestrogen daily. Okay. So in comparison to Western world, like Germany, less than 1 milligram. So that is actually, so question is, what is behind this effect? Is still there could be not resolved very well. Yes, one point is because that is maybe something with microbiome, because producing alcohol or any other bioactive compounds, or maybe it's a nutrigenomics. It might affect in the gene expression, or epigenetic. So there could be many mechanisms but the take-home message is, to get the full benefit of these phytoestrogen, need to start from very beginning, early life, so that so that we can have in later, because this is for chronic disease, we get that, right? So cancer is obviously a chronic disease or age-related disease. So start early and eat chronically is a part of our diet, like a staple, right? So that is something experimentally proven.
Thank you, Dr. Prasain. Just in the interest of time, we have about 2 minutes left.
Okay.
That was great. And obviously, we're at the end of our program. Before we end, I'd like to offer our sincere gratitude to our guest speaker, Dr. Prasain, our wonderful moderator, Ms. Uma Sharma, our fabulous audience, and particularly our incredible programs, initiatives, and events committee for putting this together. Special thanks to Dr. Sadeep Shrestha for your leadership, tireless efforts, creativity, positivity, and many thanks to Dr. Milan Shrestha as well for all the tech support. And Dr. Shrestha, a very happy birthday to you. And now with that collective spirit, I'd like to now invite Dr. Bhuvan Thapa, who is the co-chair of the Program and Events Committee, for a quick closing remark. Thank you.
Well, thank you everyone for coming to this session. Again, there are some unanswered questions, and the main purpose here is just to foster collaboration by knowing each other's work. So you know whom to reach out to, so I really appreciate everyone taking the time to come to this session. And again, please look forward to our future sessions next year, and happy holidays. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. One thing is, I'm sorry I took a little bit more time, but it's hard to sometime when you are in a flow. You know.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
no,
it was my time-wise, I was not sincere. But anyway, we could manage, and I sincerely hope